G'day! In today's video I'm replacing a cracked OLED display on an OLED switch. So I've got the replacement part here, which this one was purchased from AliExpress. I believe it should do the job just fine. It did come with a replacement seal / double-sided tape. And let's get into it. I've never had one of these apart before, so this is going to be a bit of a learning experience. But I should hopefully be able to get the right information out to you guys. Folding it up. You probably want to remove the SD card if you have an SD card inside your machine. Also, this blue mat that I've got here is a heat pad. So I am working with heat, which is probably going to make taking this screen out easier for me. Probably not so much for you unless you've got one. We're going to need a tri screwdriver, similar to what you see with some iPhones. I should have one here, like this. A tri or a Y-shape screwdriver. Some kits may be sold, replacement screens may be sold with that. Not too sure of it, I'm just using my own tools. And we got those two. And one at the top here, a small Phillips head screw at the top. And we've got a little cover here, I'm not sure if there's anything under that as of yet. It seems weird there would be something under that considering that there's an exposed screw right beside it. Game spot, we have one game. What have we got? Super Mario World 3D. 3D Worlds. Can't say I've played that particular one. Now, some of these will need to come off, not necessarily all of them. On the older Switch, I believe it was just the middle one that had to come out for the back to be able to come off. So I'm going to subscribe to that theory, and hopefully this back cover will come off. Maybe a little bit more. It's all one side taken off. There's probably a hidden screw on these hinges. That Joy-Con's now rattling around. Hidden screw in here. No, not that I can see. I do see a screw here, right at the other end. I mean, this is so big and bulky, I'm going to assume that this has to come off. Not necessarily. One off, to the side. Looks like we've got two screws here and here. I can move that into an optimal way to get them. So screw one here. And if I can get to screw two, which is in a slightly more challenging position. Okay. I'll take out the cover that's over here. Over there. Take this off. And undo those two screws that are exposed. Okay, one there, one down here. Okay. Back bracket is off. Put that off to the side. Now, from what I was quickly seeing, we only need to undo these top two screws to get the back off. As you can see, that Joy-Con's flopping around on the other side. Just want to get back to its original location. Screw in there. Go, now this back should hopefully be able to come off. So I'll fold these back down. Go. Get a fingernail in the right spot. There we go. There we go. 2 more screws on the bottom. I don't know how I missed those ones. Those down here. There we go. One back cover removed. Put that aside. I'm going to grab another tray for screws. And we're going to have to take off this silver backing. So I'm going to have to take off a little bit here. I'll try not to cover up as much as I can while I'm unscrewing it. These are reasonably long screws. Screw over here. Now there's 2 plastic things here and here that we're seeing. They are Wi-Fi and Bluetooth antennas, I'm assuming. So if you do accidentally damage these and get poor Wi-Fi or Bluetooth coverage, that would be why. Also you may damage them on the port down here. We'll get into that in a minute. I swear these screws are about double the length they could have been. And they would have offered the same level of structural support. Granted, I am no engineer. I'm merely a guy that repairs devices. I'm going to use a pair of tweezers just to disconnect these by lifting upwards. And we want to preserve the tape if possible. Put that off to the side. Same as the next piece. That there. And this should. Looks like it's going to lift out as one part. There's a little groove down here I need to move it out of. It looks to be part of the chassis. I'll do the same over here. Lift up. And should hopefully be able to lift up this tape somewhere. There. Put that off to the side. Same with this one here. Side, snake that out. I'll put that here for now. There we go. One bracket almost out. Okay. We are now out. We have thermal paste / grease here. To be cautious of that. Now I'll move this one out of the way. I'll grab a fresh tray to work on. Now we do want to disconnect the battery, which is down here. I'll disconnect it from the negative side just so there's less risk of bumping into anything and damaging it. There we go. You could use a fingernail also. Metal's not really recommended, but I'm quite accustomed to using a pair of tweezers for that. I don't see signs of liquid damage here, a moisture indicator going off, which is this one just here. And I believe the screen is connected over here. So this board here needs to come out. I'm curious if there may be a screw under here. Yes. There for now. Undo this screw. Put that in there. I'll need to fix that up. That's the Joy-Con that I had out before. I'm going to disconnect this screw because I think it may be attached to this daughter board that's here. I believe this should lift up, like so. There we go. This has this connection here. So if your SD card isn't working or your card slot, that's probably what's going on right there. Put that off to the side. We'll just completely move that out of the way now. Flick that connector up, and I should be able to pull the Joy-Con out like so. When I screwed it back down, it may have potentially damaged it, just on here. There's a slight bit of crush damage there. Don't think any of it looks too far twisted or gone, but I'll need to be fairly delicate putting that back in. Next up, I want to figure out where this screen needs to go. I'll be under the inclination that that is it here. So that is the screen connector over underneath here. It's going to be a little bit tricky getting it out. You could potentially bench test your screen right now by connecting it up, hooking up the battery, powering it up, see how you go. But I'm going to proceed further and take that screen out from here. Put the OLED off somewhere to somewhere safe. And what I want to do is get this screen out. Now, I feel like there may already be a screen protector on here. Unless there's a factory one. But I'm going to go a bit brutal and just push out from the inside. So at least get some movement from the inside out by pushing it here. And that should start lifting the screen out for me, like so. Screen is disconnected, but not out. Let's go. And there we go, one screen out. That also shows me which way I need to fold the cable to be able to connect it up. The screen will be going like this. Now I do need to clean up just around the seals here. And then from there I can reinstall the new screen and use the wrongly included adhesive. I actually don't know what the hell that was meant to be for. So I'll be using some B7000 frame adhesive when I do go to glue it in. But I don't know why they even tossed that in. I'm not sure what that is for. Anyway, that doesn't matter too much. Okay, I can just pretty much use my finger, clean that up. Now, I do have to be careful with the back of it. I don't want to get too much thermal paste all around my workshop. Or at least my workbench. I don't think I've got a better tool for this particular job. Try this one. That's going. So for that I'm just using a small flat screwdriver. Gluing up the adhesive pretty well. I'll go over that with a toothbrush in just a moment. Go back this way. And give that a brush. And we are now prepared for the screen to go in. Face down. What I want to do now is figure out the fold. Basically, right on where that colour change is. There's a line going across there to kind of indicate where it needs to go. A white line just under it. And fold that up. There we go. Move this back out of the way. Fold this back over. Make sure nothing's there. And now I'll put some frame adhesive along it, and then I'm going to stick it. Oh, this one's the wrong one. It's got the tip pushed into it. This one is the slow flow one. Now I will put some glue around here. I will have to clean this glue up in the end, but that is perfectly fine. And I'm going to stick it face down on my heat pad here, 70 degrees for it to glue, and then I'll continue on a little bit later in my time, instantly in your time. So now I'm going to feed that through here, fold it over, push it into the groove, push down, just lightly to begin with, in case there's any particles in there that are going to cause drama. And I've got my finger in the adhesive, bugger. And if I fold it over, I should hopefully have enough slack to move the screen to where I need it to. So I want to connect up the screen now, and then I'm going to reposition the screen on the other side with the connection connected, just so it's going to be in the right spot. The connector does feel like it's up. It's the best course of attack. Now push in, fold down, that's now in position. I want to fold it back over before this glue settles. Finger in the thermal paste again, that sucks. And I just want to make sure that that screen is sitting nice and evenly all the way around. Which is sitting slightly up in one corner. If I push it down. Okay, that's sitting in all corners. Connection still relatively straight down here. Excellent. Now that I'm happy with that, I'm going to bake it on the heat pad here for about 5 minutes at 70 degrees Celsius. So I've reattached the Joy-Con attachment and put it back in. That seems to be all good. Put a single screw in there, and I've cleaned up a little bit of the glue around the outside. Let's proceed in reverse. So in reverse, with the reassembly, we want to put this back on, which should line up over the top of a few different holes. And then we should be able to push it down. I lined up here. 1, 2, 3 lined up. And then push down. That should get it into position. And from there I need to put the screw back up here and put the cover back over this screw. Go, and its little cover just here. A little bit of tape. Wouldn't say it's exactly mission critical that you put this back on, but if it's there, it's worthwhile probably putting back. Go, that one there. Next up, I've got my screw collection here. I believe from here we have to reconnect the battery. So this lines up over. So I've got the screen already connected up. Now put the daughter board back on, put this back on. Hook up the power to it once more. And next up, this one. Now about the trickiest part of this one is going to be getting this antenna cable under this location here. You can see those two bits sticking out here and here. The cable has to run under that. So you may need to kind of like feed it before you put it over the top, if that makes sense. I'm using these very fine pair of tweezers to push it back in. Don't push too far down or you may damage your new OLED display that you just installed, which would definitely suck. One in, two, feed under, over. Okay, that's roughly in position. Probably gonna have to pull it through just slightly. If it lets me. It's not really letting me. Push it back out. Now I'll try and pull it down. There we go, that's working. Now we need to go back down here. Try and feed it back in again. If I push it over. I think my head was in the way, sorry. A bit more. It's gonna let me know. What's going on here? Now we're lining up. Bingo. And this will feed back over to here. And by the connection, it looks like it goes over to the other side. Lost track on where they actually connect up to. We'll quickly look that up. And it looks like left goes to left, right goes to right. Now these screws, being they are of all the same length, it shouldn't matter where they go, as long as you use all of them. In theory, if they've all come out, they all go back in, you're not missing any. Probably turn my heat pad off now. That screen's going to be well glued and that OLED screen's going to be well cooked. Antenna. That one over here. Do be sure you put that screw in down here before you put the antenna cable on, as it runs over it. So I'm leaving the antenna cables till last. Pretty much if you're at this stage, you're almost on the home straight. You're nearly done. Hopefully all is going well for your install. Pinch a screw from down here. There's two that go down the bottom here where I'm screwing in. Two. Now I should. What I'm planning on is lining it up over the top and using this cross. There we go. Reconnected a lot easier than I anticipated it was going to. There we go. Now I'm going to put some tape over this. Like that. Granted there is markings there for it, where to go. And put that on there too. Like so. And all those screws are in the right spots. Put it through the groove. Put it over there. Over this one too. And I'm trying to line it up over the top. You could potentially use your finger if you've got a small finger. Yeah, but once it's lined up, you should just be able to push down lightly. And they should look something like that. Another way to tell that they're installed is you should be able to push them and they should swivel without popping up. There we go. Not quite. I'm going to lift this up, pull this over, hopefully. And push it back down. There we go. Now, next up is the back cover. All the screws used in there. Back cover. And now we should be on the home stretch. Should be the back cover would go on. Move that out of my way. Should kind of feed a little bit under here. Well, at least that's what it feels like. There. Also, I didn't bother replacing the thermal paste as it was still kind of liquidy. There's really not much need to replace it. This does feel fairly brittle. I do feel like there's a high chance it could potentially damage the back trim. Or potentially a flex cable. There we go, that's clipped in. We go over the top. Hopefully into the grooves. And that's it. That looks like this is going to have to pop out.
Morning, sir.
Fold this one out over here too. And this side seemed to actually sit in just perfectly fine. This side, not so much. No. You have this clip here. A bit of groove it needs to slide into. Not quite. I don't have quite enough light here to see what I need. Ah, there we go. I got it. I just need to push the plastic a bit further down. Okay. Great. So from here, you want to make sure your buttons are in alignment. And they're working as they should. And then from there, let's get some screws into this. So these wider ones go up here. And by wide, I mean the end of the screw itself is wider. Same with that one. If I flip it over to the other side, do the same again. Up here, one, and a two. Next up, screw up the top here, small Phillips head. All these screws should be identical, so far anyway. Two on the bottom. I'm leaving the hinge until last. There we go, that one there. This one here. And with the two Y screws, I'll call it Y screws. Go down the bottom here and here. And then all we really got to do is put on the back plate, or the kickstand, as it is more commonly called. So it's a matter of lining it up where it needs to go to, like so. And then I'm going to put in both the screws on one side, then go to the other side, and do that. All four of those screws should be identical. Actually, I tell a lie, I'll do each side once. Then I don't have to worry about holding it. Go. And the next one's going to be a little bit trickier as it's further down the gap. I'm just kind of freely spinning. There we go, now we're tightened up. Do the same with the other one down here. Lean in and push that plastic out a little bit, it seems. I may have over-tightened that top one just a little bit too much and it's out of alignment. I'll loosen it up so I've got some wiggle room there. And try again. There we go, that's working a bit better. Tighten up that top one once more. Try that bottom one again. Okay, one hinge back on. Now I need to put the hinge covers back on. Hinge covers and one screw for each. So this was this side, as the screws are on the inside of the covers. Just a small Phillips head screw. Should go into the cover, through the cover into the plastic that's there, or the metal that's there on the hinge. This one feels like it completely missed. There we go, line up a bit further down. Okay, that's good. Same with the other side. Cover on. Screw in. And there, hopefully all going well, you've now got a fixed Nintendo OLED Switch. Ta-da! Hope that helps. And I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.